Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
Good morning and welcome to Chronicle. I'm Rob McCartney. The United States military has a presence around the world. Its 5 branches united by the desire to serve. But for each service member comes the day they stop lacing up their boots. And what comes next can be an overwhelming journey. So today, we look at ways to ease that trek. We're talking with a state senator who's come up with a Bill of Rights trying to help veterans transition into civilian life, and also with a local group showing those vets how to make that transition smoother and better. First, though, helping vets cope with the special challenges they may be facing. Some of that help comes from the animal kingdom, specifically horses, and a nonprofit known for using equine interaction to deal with disabilities. Winds of change blow in the fields just outside Gretna, while lives are changing inside this barn.
It's really therapy without them knowing that it's therapy.
I'm at the point where anything's worth a try, and I'm really hoping that this would be something that will help out.
Joe Wojak is a Navy veteran, remembers mustering out back in '93.
Wasn't really sure what the next steps were going to be. You have to structure things yourself, and if you lack that control, you're probably in a lot of trouble.
So Joe, like a number of veterans, comes to Hetra.
I'm giving it a shot.
Hetra is Heartland Equine Therapeutic Riding Academy. And Hetra helps all kinds of people facing all kinds of challenges, physical and emotional, by using horses. And once a month, they focus on veterans, beginning with what they call herd dynamics. The vets watch how a group of horses interacts with each other, and then they equate that to human behavior.
Kept kicking his foot up, and he kept turning his head from him, and he kept trying to want him to kind of acknowledge him. So it seems like he's the one that's largely in charge, and this one will be second in line.
Okay. Anybody else have any other thoughts? And there's no right or wrong answers.
Red over there is actually doing a lot of herding and telling them where to go. And he kind of got tired at the end of everybody else's shenanigans, and he just wanted to tag along with Boss Man.
Okay, nice.
Calm down, fingers in, just kind of like so.
Okay.
The vets then pair up with a horse.
This is the first time petting a horse.
Petting a horse?
Yes.
Grooming and leading them.
Yeah. It's okay.
Building a team.
So turn your shoulders a little bit more so you stay with him. Your feet and your shoulders should be continuing to face your horse.
Building trust.
It's actually building a bond with the animal.
Chris O'Callahan is the specialty program coordinator for Hetra. He's also a veteran, regular Army and reserves.
One of the great things about therapeutic services in our facility is that you get immediate feedback. You learn that self-centering and self-calming techniques, and you do it from the point of view that you're helping the horse calm down.
Horses pick up on that, and therapists pick up on how the vets are doing. Therapists like Kelly Hudson-Buehler. She's a mental health therapist at Hetra and life skills coordinator.
I feel most at home around my vets.
That's because she is one. Army National Guard, deployed twice on the ground in Iraq at the start of the war in '03, gives her special insight.
So it's definitely ingrained in every fiber of me.
The vets may have issues like post-traumatic stress, separation, and anxiety issues. And she says matching horses with heroes is a perfect fit because horses are considered prey animals, always worried about predators.
And they're always on high alert. They're always looking for an exit. And if you've been over in combat before or had seen combat, you're kind of on the same level. Your back's against the wall, you're not sitting in the middle of a crowded room, you're looking for that exit. So they can relate on such a deeper level than that surface level.
Get comfortable in there?
Yeah.
The horses actually force the veterans to be patient and to communicate.
And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and bring him back to the walk. So we're going to lower our energy.
It doesn't always go smoothly. The horse balks when it sees our camera. So Joe's job is to help it get past that.
We're going to tell him we're going to help him work through this. We're going to be the leader here and we're going to help him work through this problem.
I was really fascinated with what just transpired. You have to really think about how they interact with each other, and you see similarities with how humans interact with each other. So it just kind of gives you a picture that everything's tied in together.
And that's exactly what this program's all about, showing vets they aren't alone, that while they share struggles, they can also share successes.
Everybody puts a lot of pressure on themselves, and if one thing we can provide is less self-judgment and less stress, then it's going to be a better place for everybody.
Learning things like self-care and self-calming inside the arena can ease life outside the arena. Now, the equine services for veterans are free. They usually happen the fourth Friday of every month. Final one for this year is Friday, November 22nd. You can register and get more information and details at hetra.org. Well, helping level the care continues for veterans in Lincoln, where State Senator Carol Blood says she will introduce a Veterans Bill of Rights in the upcoming legislative session. She calls it a big bill, addressing several common challenges for military members and their families, like mental health and homelessness. It would also create a bridge between military jobs and their civilian counterparts. For example, if someone worked in healthcare while in the military, that experience would count toward a civilian healthcare license. Nebraska is not alone in this legislative battle. 11 other states have introduced similar measures. Now, I sat down with Senator Blood about the foundation or pillars of the bill and the improvements she hopes to make for veterans.
So the pillars to the Veterans Bill of Rights addresses veterans' homelessness, it addresses veterans' suicide, licensure and employment issues, mental health and overall health, as well as data. A lot of people will create policy without having really good data. And in order to help in all of those areas, we need to have better data here in Nebraska.
What are you hoping to accomplish with the Bill of Rights?
What we hope to accomplish is to be very forward-thinking in one of the best states in the United States when it comes to how we treat our veterans and our military families. Nebraska can do better. And you have to look at the economic development impact as well. Offutt Air Force Base is the #1 employer here in Nebraska. When there is a BRAC round, you hear a lot of people talk about runways and missions, and those things are certainly important. But also what's important is how you treat the military families that reside within your state. Let's talk about veteran suicide, because all of these issues touch veteran suicide. We know that veterans make up only about 10% of the whole population in the United States, but they are 20% of the people who commit suicide in the United States. So what's causing that high increase of suicide? Well, we know that, again, they're losing their sense of purpose. We know that they may very well be driving an MRAP for 8 or more hours a day in dangerous terrain, something that you and I would never do. And they're an expert and they're saving lives, and then they come back to Nebraska and they can't even get a delivery truck job because they don't have the experience. So the military, what you do in the military is not translating into civilian jobs.
And that's what your bill does. It addresses removing some of the licensure requirements for CDLs, for health practices. How exactly does that work when you have other people who say, hey, I've studied hard, why should they get kind of a pass just because they were in the military and may have done this in the military?
Well, because it's not any different than when you come from another state. I've pushed forward a lot of interstate compacts for that very reason, because it does benefit our military spouses having to move so frequently, having to constantly relicense. But when it comes to those who have served and their expertise, that's it exactly, that's their expertise. You served as a nurse in the military, you have had appropriate training, and what people don't understand frequently is that when you're in the military, you have many opportunities for ongoing education. In many instances, they are better educated than the licensed employees that we have here in Nebraska. We need to take what they've been educated on and their experience and find a way to translate that into words that a civilian employer can understand, and understand why they need to hire that person.
What's this going to cost?
So right now, we have been able to work with a lot of different entities, and we don't have a fiscal note. The one thing that will more than likely drive a fiscal note, if we can't figure out how to address it, will be the mental health navigators. But we are working with a variety of mental health professional groups. We've worked with the University of Nebraska, who will be helping us with our data. So the key is to try and figure out how to do this without a fiscal note. And I'd say that we are 75% there. We have until January to get it figured out, but we've started up here and we're probably about down to here now.
Is it all or nothing? As you said yourself, it's a big bill. I mean, this is a big bill.
But we got to get it done and get it right.
Is it all or nothing with you then, or are there certain things that you are willing to sacrifice in the legislative negotiation process?
So the data part of it's very important, because I feel that a lot of people create policy without facts. I think that you have to measure what you treasure. We've got to know what causes veteran suicide in Nebraska, who it is, and where they come from. And we need to know what illnesses, mental health illnesses, are connected to that. We can't address those issues if we don't address the data, don't address statistics. So that is one area that I will not budge on. The other is the asking the right question. And we're asking not only that the state do that, but anybody who provides any type of contact with veterans and military families, instead of me saying, hey, Rob, are you a veteran? And having you check a box on a form, I would better serve you if I said, Rob, have you or a family member ever served in the military? One of the issues with just asking if you're a veteran is a lot of people don't feel that they're a veteran. I look at my father. My father was a Marine, but he didn't serve in any conflict when he was a Marine. And so he didn't seek help, even though it was available to him, until his mid-80s. But more than that, you know, we look at especially our aging veterans and our veterans' families. They might come to DHHS for assistance when it turns out there are services available at the federal level for them, usually more so as well.
How does Nebraska compare to other states? There are other states that are doing Veterans Bills of Rights.
Well, that's a really good question. So Iowa frequently wins out over Nebraska because Iowa does not tax military retirement. So Nebraska continues, and we do have a bill ready for debate. We'll see what happens when it comes up for debate on the floor this upcoming session. But we lose out on people, especially those that have older children, to other states that don't tax their military retirement. That's the biggest issue. That's not addressed in the Veterans Bill of Rights because that most definitely has a fiscal note. But I think that the Bill of Rights, what's different than the main reason that people don't stay in Nebraska when they're military, it's more about the quality of life while they're here. And it's about serving those who have served us.
Again, Senator Blood plans to introduce the Veterans Bill of Rights in the next legislative session that starts January 8th. Still ahead here on Chronicle, building a bridge. What one organization is doing to create a strong network for veterans and ease their transition into the private sector. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.